Alright, so this video is about 7.7-5 proportions in triangles. Alright, so we've learned a lot about proportions in triangles so far, but now we're going to learn about a few more proportions. Alright, so here we have a triangle. We have triangle XQY. Okay, and say we drew in line RS. Now, if you notice, in this diagram, line RS is parallel to line XY. Since these lines are parallel, these sides, these partial sides here, form a proportion. Alright? RQ over RX equals SQ over SY. Alright? So as long as these two are parallel, now these have to be parallel in order for this to work. But as long as these two lines are parallel, then RQ over RX equals QS over SY. Let's look at an example. So here we have an example. Here we have a triangle. These two lines are parallel. So we know that 12 over x plus 1 is going to equal 9 over x. Okay, it's what we just learned. Alright, 12 over x plus 1 equals 9 over x. Now you simply cross multiply. 12x equals 9 times x plus 1. Distribute through. So 12x equals 9x plus 9. Subtract the 9x from both sides. 3x equals 9. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 3. Now, if we want to find out what these side lengths are, we just substitute in 3 for x. So 3 plus 1, this would be 4. This would be 3. Now, if you look at the ratio, 4 over 12 equals 3 over 9. It does, because you can pull a 4 out of both of these and get 1/3. You can pull a 3 out of both of these and also get 1/3. So as you can see, it holds true. 12 over x plus 1 equals 9 over x. We solved for x, and then we plugged it back in, found our ratio, and proves that it works. But remember, the important thing, these two lines have to be parallel for it to work. Alright, here's our next example. Now, this might look similar to something we've done before. Alright, so if we have these three lines are parallel, okay? Since we know these three lines are parallel, AB over BC equals WX over XY. Okay? Because remember before, if these two were equal, then these two were equal. But now, we don't know the lengths of these, but we do know, because these three lines are parallel, we do know that that AB divided by CB is going to equal the same thing as WX divided by XY. Let's look at an example. Alright, so here we go. Here I've turned the parallel lines to run vertical instead of horizontal, but it still works the same way. We're going to find x. Well, we know 8 over x equals 7.2 over 9. Okay? And remember, you want to keep the stuff in the same order. Since I started with the one on the right and then went left, I need to start on the right and go left. Okay? So 8 over x equals 7.2 over 9. Cross multiply. 7.2x equals 72. Divide both sides by 7.2. And 72 divided by 7.2 is 10. Okay? So therefore x here would be 10. Okay? So just keep in mind, when you have parallel lines, the sections that the transversals, because these are transversals, so the segments that the transversals are cut into are also proportional. Now, let's look at our last example. Well, our example's coming in a minute. So here we have triangle ABC. Now, if you notice, line AD is an angle bisector. See how it cuts this angle in half? Okay? AD is an angle bisector. That means that CD over DB equals CA over BA. You see that? This over this equals this side over this side. Let's look at an example. Go ahead and write that down. Let's look at an example real quick. All right. So here we go. Triangle PSR. PQ, you notice here, it's an angle bisector. It cuts this angle in half. So we know that 10 over 18 equals 12 over x. All right? So we're going to cross multiply. We're going to get 10x equals 216. And now we're going to divide both sides by 10. So x equals 21.6. So the length of this line is 21.6. Alright? So, now you know 3 more ways that you can find proportions from triangles. You know that if you have an angle bisector, the segments that it cuts that side of the triangle into are proportional to the other 2 sides of the triangle. We know that. We also know now that if you have parallel lines cut by transversals, the segments that the transversals are cut into are proportional as well. All right, and the final thing we just learned, if you have a triangle and you draw a line parallel to one of the bases, the sides of the triangle form a proportion. Alright, so you can watch this video as many times as you need to. Make sure you understand these theorems we went over. And we'll work on some problems tomorrow in class. See you tomorrow.